What's up, dudes? Aliens, demons, oh my. Two completely different things. Or are they? I think Buddy's going to show us a little bit about that. So ultimately, dudes out there, if a gray alien walked into this room right now, what do you think? E.T. or exorcism? Let's find out. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Paranormal Dudes podcast, episode 105. If you're new here, welcome to the craziness and the raunchiness of our show. And if you're a regular, welcome back. Tonight, we're joined here with Buddy, our resident paraplegic, and Jesse.
What the heck? What the fuck?
Our resident clairvoyant witch or ex-witch. That what? Are you like an ex-witch now, or what is it? What
Why
are you now?
an ex-witch? No. What do you mean?
So I'm waiting for election year. Okay.
I was born that way. I can't be an ex.
Yeah. Okay. And if
All
you're
right, Lady Gaga.
Right.
So if you're a returning viewer, a viewee of the Paranormal Dudes podcast, you've already noticed Oscar's not here. He's out there serving LA in the best way possible.
With his mouth.
With his mouth.
$20 is $20.
Because he's talking, of course. He's giving a speech.
Yeah, he's giving a speech. And that's how it usually goes on this show. If you're new here, if one of the dudes isn't here, we tend to crack jokes at their expense. But one thing is for sure, we have to try. Maybe when I'm sick again, hopefully not how I was sick a couple weeks ago, but I think as an experiment, the three of you should run the show without me to see how it goes. Like, who's going to do the intro and, kind of keep the podcast going on. I want to see this.
Who do you think would run and do it? I'm curious.
I don't know. I mean, we did that. I think it was a few episodes. It was a long time ago, actually, where I had the three of you do the intro, the whole "What is up, dudes?" and it was funny. You had the fake mustache with your hair and then the hat, like you had the whole getup. But it would be interesting. Actually, it would be interesting to see all three of you individually at some point run the show, or do the intro and
just drop like our own
your own flavor,
right? Yeah,
your own flavor. Like, I would love to see.
I'd probably come in with "What is up, dudes?"
It's like the fucking
cool cats and dogs
after
out there.
9 o'clock oldies.
Cool cats and kittens.
The after 9 oldies.
Before you, Carol Baskins. Is the last name Baskins?
Tigers, lions, and bears.
Lions and bears.
Oh my! Jesse, take it away.
Okay,
what's
so
up, you cool cats and kittens?
I'm like, okay, so
Jesse be like, okay, so welcome to the show.
Sergio, of course, is not here because God knows what he's doing.
My God.
So I'm not going to do his stupid intro, okay? So this one is not going to have his stupid intro. Anyways.
Yeah, I would love to try to do that. But in order for that to work, Oscar has to be on the show. He has to be present. Yeah, I'm sure Oscar's watching. When you know what's funny? The only time Oscar really rewatches a show, if he's not on it, he'll watch it. Because he'll text me and be like, dude, that was a good episode. That was funny. I'm like, yeah, where were you? That's like the only time he showed. But, whatever. We have priorities and there's things that things happens. Let's just say that. Okay. To be honest with you guys, since the last time we met, I have not experienced anything of paranormal. Actually, you know what? Let me retract. It wasn't paranormal per se. I was in the valley. Crazy things happen in the valley. Nothing ghostly. I did pass by what used to be the farmers camp that used to be next to the mall in Dannenberg.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it was, but when I was younger, I thought it was like this huge place. But now, being my age, driving by, the plot isn't that huge. And I'm just like, why did we make it seem like it was this vast building?
Because that's
What
how it
was that?
looked when we were.
Because we used to go at night.
The gato passing by.
True.
Yeah, we used to go at night, and it just seemed like it was monstrous huge. I
More
bet you if we
things
would have
going
taken
on.
flashlights instead of a cigarette and a lighter, we would have probably seen a lot more and been like, this sucks.
You remember we tried using our flip phones,
Meth?
our Nextel flip phones. Meth. We tried to use that as illumination. It literally did nothing. But
No, it blinded you more than anything.
I know, right? So it felt like, okay. So that I passed by that, I got eerie feelings, and I pointed it out to Ethan because Ethan didn't know what it was, and so I took Michael around that. Who, coincidentally, if you're new here, those were old Paranormal Dudes on the old Paranormal Dudes cast, and so we passed by that. Then we also passed by where the old satanic building was, right there on Ross. Buddy, you remember we went there?
Yeah, is that the one where
That's you.
where CJ got a nail in his foot?
That's the one. That's
Yeah.
the one. We passed by there, and I wanted to show them. And the one thing that's still there is the the guardhouse. Remember the house that was like, I wouldn't say it was a guardhouse. It was more like, what's the correct term for this?
A
It's
shack.
yeah, it was a shack, and someone was in there just watching it, I guess. Did a horrible job because there was like a pack of 10 of us that just got by it and
Oh my God.
went to this building. But coincidentally, both these buildings are no longer standing. The satanic place was already falling apart. There was like only sections on the walls that were still up, but the farmers camp it's completely gone. It's just dirt now. So I can only imagine. I would want to go back out there, even though the building's not there anymore. I feel like since the
vibe
building's not there, I feel like it's even more. It's more disturbed. So I would love to just go out there and see if we hear anything or anything. And so it didn't happen to me, and I'm gonna share it with, you know what? Let me see if I could get it from Michael. Because what Michael did, he went, you know how I told you guys are selling my grandparents' house? It's vacant. There's nothing in there. Furniture's gone. He, bravingly enough, and I didn't go because I think I was tired, or I don't remember what it was, because he went like at 3:00 in the morning to the house. And they did a ghost investigation. He asked a few questions. There was a specific clip where he asked the ghost if the ghost was in the kitchen, and in the spirit box that he was using, it replied with, "Yep." Dude, most of the stuff that they were like, there was, and then they have the EMF reader. The EMF reader, picks up electrical charges or whatever, and you have to be careful with it because some electricity can be picked up on it, but it usually doesn't go past level 1 if that's the case. But there was a certain spot in the kitchen where they would pass it and it would go up to level 5, like over and over again, especially where they were communicating with the ghost in the kitchen. So I was like adjacent, a part of all this paranormal stuff that was happening. If I can't share it on the show, I will definitely post it on our Instagram this week. Or this weekend, I should say, since this is Thursday. That's when it releases. But yeah, that's one thing I didn't mention during Normal Dudes because I wanted to save it for the show. Outside of that, you have your weird lights that you see in the valley all the time. Whether it's UFOs or whatever it is, I saw a bunch of those, and it's a little more interesting when you have someone there that didn't grow up there or didn't live there, and they're out there and they're just like, what the hell was that? Oh, it's probably a UFO. No biggie. Like, it's nothing crazy. Sally said that a couple times, like, I saw this weird light in the sky. That don't happen out here. It just happens. But yeah, that was my interim, the time frame from when we last spoke. Buddy, on the other hand, I know was going through some crazy shit. And Oscar actually sent me a text earlier, but Oscar is not going to be on the show today. He has a crazy dream that he wants to share with us. He wrote it down on his notepad. I swear to God, that guy's an old soul. Who writes it down in a notepad?
I mean, maybe he didn't want to forget.
I mean, yeah, you don't want to forget, but you can put it in your notes in your phone. That's like accessible too.
I mean,
what about you guys?
Rolodex.
Yeah, it would have been crazy if it would have been his Rolodex. What about you guys?
I went to this really nice house in La Jolla. Was super haunted. So, Eric's sister's here visiting, and she's staying at her friend's grandma's house.
Uh-huh.
But, like, it's just even pulling up was like so creepy. I felt, and I told her there's a lady in here, but it's not the grandma. It's, I don't know if it's like the dad's sister or maybe the mom's, like her best friend's mom's sister, like a tia or something. But it's like I guess the grandma passed away like in 1992 or sometime like that, and the family has just come and gone to use it. They don't really have updated it or anything like that, so it's still like
Right.
smells like grandma's house type of thing. And so
Right.
they were just telling me how at night she was hearing like footsteps in the hallway, and how they would be in the living room and like the bedroom door would open, the master bedroom door would open. And so just things like that, but I mean nothing out of the ordinary.
The ordinary.
But it was a cool little house, and there was vibes, but they weren't bad.
There was vibras there, but it was all good vibes.
They were good vibras.
I don't know why in my head vibra sounds like a derogatory, discussing. Not derogatory, more like vibras. Like if it could be a vibrator.
You just associate everything with things. Because you're thinking of
connotations with you. I'm fucking tired of it.
That's why you're thinking of a vibradora. So you're like,
Yeah, maybe. Oh, don't use that word, please.
Oh
okay.
My God.
What about you, bud?
Interestingly enough,
no.
After the last show, I had a lot more activity here at the house. The sound of like doors opening and closing at night. The right above the head of my bed is the window, so there's blinds, the kind you pull up and down.
Mhm.
And during the day, they would sound like they were being scratched, like, like something was behind them.
The hell?
And so there was just weird stuff. We started talking about it a little bit. And my aunt came over to visit. And she says, you know what? You need to call a priest, have him come over here. You guys need to do a blessing. You guys need to do this, need to do that. And I told her, well, you know what? I want to, but I'm kind of getting embarrassed of it. And I don't know, like I just had this weird, how can I say? There was just this weird, like something with me that I didn't want to bring it up, But she said, then I'm going to call. And we have a friend that's a close friend of the family's. He's a deacon here in the town. And she called him and told him about it. And he says, I'm here in town. Let me grab Father. We'll go over. So about 20 minutes later, they show up. And I'm like, damn. So I'm trying to rush around to put the dogs out away. And they're like, no. Leave them out here. They're part of the house. And so they come and sit and we start talking. And finally the priest gets up and he goes, we should get started. And I said, you okay? And he goes, well, we walked in the house and right now, because of the construction, my garage has been about 60% converted into a bedroom. And we've had to stop because we ran out of funds for now and we're putting back together funds to finish it. But it traps heat during the day out here. And so the whole living room and kitchen area, they're warm. They're not getting cold like the rest of the house. And I thought he was going to say, it's too hot in here. But he goes, the room is warm and I am freezing.
Oh.
And I told him, okay. And he goes, I'm freezing. He says, freezing. And he says, it's a type of sign. So interestingly enough, he started talking about certain things and started asking me about, what our beliefs are in the house and such. And kind of gave me a little bit of a quiz. And later on, I found out more of it, which I'll get into with this episode. But they went around, they put out blessed salts and they did holy water and things like that around the house, prayers, and blessed all of us and everything, and even sprayed the dogs down, which were running all over the place going crazy because they don't like getting wet. But in the end, it just kind of brought another piece to the house. It was just kind of calm. I don't want to say whatever was here is completely gone. It's just like the way we've explained it, it's kind of like it's been
like suppressed, maybe.
There you go. Suppressed. I was trying to think of the word. Yeah. So it really calmed everybody down. We were all able to get more sleep. The thumps in the night, the doors opening and closing, it sounded like our bathroom doors were opening and closing. And we're laying right next to one of the bathrooms, and this one wasn't opening and closing visually, but we could hear that like boom, and that stopped the shaking of the blinds over on the window. They haven't happened. So paranormal wise, I want to say something possibly was here that got suppressed or subdued. So there hasn't really been anything big to report back on except for that. But once all this went through, I remembered that we were going to be coming up and doing this theme. And I said, if you guys got a moment, I'd like to ask a couple of questions. And they said, okay, shoot. So I brought it up. Our theme today. Are aliens and demons connected?
Right.
And that just like sparked the priest, and he was like, let's have a seat. And we started talking. So we talked for about an hour and a half or so about it, and he kind of gave me his part of it and some stuff from the church. And and he ended up inviting me. He says, if you want to talk more about this kind of stuff, he says, feel free to let me know. I guess when he was in the seminary or wherever, I think seminary is called, where they go to school to become a priest. In his theology courses, he ended up taking some demonology courses. Ooh. And he was very interested in what I had to say. And he was very, like, both of them were kind of like, you kind of know your stuff here about demonology. And I told him, well, as the deacon would know, he knew at one point in life was wanting to become a priest. And
I thought you were going to say, well, I'm a professional Paranormal Dudes podcaster. You should go check out. You're gonna market it.
You hurry now. We'll give you 60% off on our. No, they just kind of like were like, okay, so you're versed in it. I told them I'm versed, but I'm nowhere near being like where I would say I'm ready to face anything like that or go against something like that or anything. I said I just learned about it, and I said, and well, life took another course, and I went down to the fire department and became a hero. But
dang.
But we had a good talk about it, and
the other profession that slides down poles.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
yes. But we had a good talk about it, and after they took off, we kind of hung out and here at the house because it was over the weekend and everything was cool. But after the weekend, I'm going to start looking into this more, and I want to, throughout the week, just reading into it here and there. And a lot of the stuff we talked about, including the questions he gave me before he started the blessing of the house, were things that actually are pretty interesting because they mix with all this theme that we're bringing up. But that's my paranormal update, I guess you could say, for the week.
I mean, it's great because it ties right into what we're talking about today. So it's kind of like it's kind of an on-ramp, if you will.
I mean, can you share the type? I'm curious, like what type of questions did
I'm sure he's going to share it with us.
Okay.
Oh, we're going there. We're going there.
Right.
Yeah,
we're going to get there.
Okay. And I was excited about this because this is going to open up a discussion not only for us but anybody that watches or listens to our show, because there was like a debate about it. And I remember we were talking about it a few times, and a dear friend of ours, cousin Joe, CJ, he's gotten real religious in the past year or so, and he'll share a lot of like psalms and like days for certain saints. And then one of the videos he shared, that's where it kind of sparked, where it said, I don't quote me on this, I don't know if it was a bishop or a deacon, I don't remember, but that particular person from the church was outlining that demons are aliens, or I should say aliens are demons. That's what I meant to say. And he kind of gave his reasoning for it, and of course that created a big discussion in comment sections, and how all the internet sleuths just kind of weighed in on it, and it was everywhere. And I thought it'd be a very interesting topic to bring up on the show. So why don't we get right into it? I can't wait. And because we obviously, there's so many denominations out there, and everybody has their own point of view, and people think they're righteous over the others. There's going to be a good discussion between us because we all have, I guess as far as spiritual beliefs, they might teeter a little bit, but our morals are kind of aligned when it comes to the people on this show. And I can't wait to dig in. So why don't you go ahead and take us down this road, buddy?
Sure. So before I get into it and I start sharing some of the stuff that was said to me and some of the things that I read on, I do want to say, as far as the Paranormal Dudes go, this is a kind of a disclaimer. We're not attacking your religion. We're not attacking your beliefs. And we're not trying to debunk anything, but further over sharing information that was gathered to bring to this podcast and have a discussion. Take it as you will. I will say, after the things I've learned and everything, I still do believe in aliens myself. But this, like I shared earlier today, this was kind of a interesting, eye-opening theory, and getting a little bit of talk from an actual priest, and then actually reading into some of this stuff, it was kind of convincing either way. So, I mean, I could just jump into it and I could start telling you guys what it's all about.
Yeah.
So if I looked it up and I found it on Google, But what the
That
priest told
specific
me,
video?
the video, technically the video you're talking about, you can find snips of it. You cannot find the whole video.
Right.
But what I found about this and what I was told by this priest is that the theory or the theme that we're getting into today is called Demonic UFO Hypothesis.
Hmm.
So it says perspective suggesting the unexplained aerial phenomenon, UAPs and extraterrestrial entities are spiritual, malevolent forces that are masquerading as advanced physical beings to deceive humanity.
Hmm.
So we are talking about aliens, which most of us see them or think of them as the Greys, as little green people, crazy
Or
long black
Rylan,
beings with a
the
tongue
Nordic.
that comes out and tries to get
Yeah.
you. Rylan, so there's a lot that goes into it, and going down this rabbit hole of hearing this priest talk about it, reading my own things, there's a lot more behind it that starts to kind of mesh different beliefs, mesh different, science and church don't really ever get along. And there's actually scientists that start explaining stuff, astrophysicists and apologists, which study the space travel, will come back and tell you more information on this. And I have some information on them as well. But when we jump into it to the religious interpretation, there's a lot of Christian and Catholic theologians which argue the account of aliens and the alien abductions. When you're going through the religious side of it, they want to they want you to not believe in the fact that people have been abducted by aliens. No matter how many counts of stories have been out there, we actually have already done a story on this, on aliens and abductions a while back. And we talk about the accounts that these people had, that they went through a certain spaceship, certain tests were done on them. And on the religious side, they want priests and religious leaders everywhere want to debunk that. And they want us to believe that that's not real.
Right.
What they're trying to tell us is that the aliens are actually demons. And there's a lot behind it as to why. We have a lot on here. If I could just find the name of this priest.
So the guy, the person from the church that I saw on Cousin Joe's story, was that just a priest, or was it like a deacon or bishop?
Harold E. Puthoff in 2022 wrote a book called The Ultra-Terrestrial Models Paper. He was actually a demonologist, a very high-class demonologist, an exorcist actually in the state of Washington. He wrote a full book on demonology and jinns, demons and jinns, and talked about how they interpret the interpretation that these demons or jinns will put on to appear different than what we see as a typical demon or devil or whatever, to look different, yet to deceive us as humans. He released a video and it was published online. It got a lot of views, a lot of comments, and the church, the Vatican, had that video removed from the internet. They had that removed because the Vatican doesn't believe that the public is ready to hear that kind of
like we're not ready for that kind of information.
Yeah, because basically it's a lot of information to take in. Yet the Vatican also doesn't want the public to get this uprising of there's devils everywhere or demons everywhere, because then we're going Vatican against government, which government is telling us that aliens are real. Right. And so we have that clash of church and state. And so the Vatican had it removed. And there was a story about about this priest that he was apparently fired and removed from the church and disappeared, basically. It isn't true. And actually, the priest I spoke to here in my home told me that priest was actually just kind of like reprimanded and told he doesn't have the authority to share that kind of information. A lot of information can be shared, a lot of demonology can be shared and things like that. But if you're going to go public to where millions of viewers can see you, such as YouTube, you need permission from a higher power, whether it be from your, I can't even remember the name of it, where the bishop's at. They have certain sections, within your state or something. The bishop would have to give you the permission. If the bishop can't do it.
Jesse, you use the word for Sir Optimus.
Me?
District?
Region? District?
Region? District? Is that what you're trying to get at?
Yeah, it's there's a certain word they use.
Diocese?
Diocese. The diocese. You would have to go
I'm not
to
a
your
complete
diocese.
moron. I'm not a complete
You're just a moron, but not a complete moron.
I know some things.
As far,
I mean, right.
As far as the information that you can give out during these kind of videos, these kind of addresses to the public, you need to have, as a priest, you need to have a go ahead from your diocese to say, yeah, share it. And if the diocese can't get it, they'll jump up to cardinals, and then they'll jump up to the Pope, and the Pope will ultimately say yes or no. So, there is a chain of command or a ladder that they have to go up to get certain permissions for certain things they can share. So yeah, the way this priest went about it, he made his own vlog, his own video, threw it out there, and it went viral. And
are there no completely erased, done, no videos of that guy at all?
I personally couldn't find one. I found snippets here and there where he talks about it, and he just says the lights in the sky, or the little people, or the people that we see, or the humanoid figures that we see are deceptions. And I didn't really find a snippet where he puts alien and demon together in the same sentence. I'm sure it's out there. There's just so many snippets that people took to throw out there and be like, look at this.
Right.
I'm sure if somebody was to sit there and get all those snippets and put them together, you could probably put the whole video together again. But it's not a secret. I mean, apparently it took millions of views. So a lot of people did actually see that video. I personally didn't find it. Although you all know I can barely turn on Riverside sometimes. So,
but I mean, I at least appreciate that father was able, because I feel like a lot of priests won't sit and really talk, at least in my
have a conversation about it.
Yeah, they won't have a conversation about that. So that's cool that I feel like some priests are just more open than others, right? Or I don't know, conservative or whatever you want to call it.
Well, I don't know if it's more conservative. I think there's sticklers for the rules. That's what I think it is. Some priests abide by them and some don't. But you could say that about any walk of life. But I think generally that's what I think personally.
Yeah. And a priest is like anybody else. He's a man like any of us, a human like any of us. He's going to share what he's going to share. I did notice that between him and the deacon, there were certain things he was coming to, and they'd kind of look at each other and stop for a second, and he'd be like, yeah, I could tell you this. And he'd keep on going. So it was very interesting hearing him talk about these things, because I didn't really expect him to get too far into it. But my questioning that I had for him in the beginning was, where does he stand on this subject? And then the other question I had was about the questions that he gave me when right before he did the blessing. And it got really interesting, because once I went through these questions, I was thinking, boy, this hits all four of us on this podcast. And even the other the other people that that you had on the podcast before us, the original cruise or cast.
Right.
It was really interesting because we've all experienced certain things. We've all done our ghost hunting. We've all gone out and looked at the sky for aliens, that kind of thing. But one of the questions that he started telling me was, like he asked me the basic, do you believe in God? And do you follow, the religious side? And then he says, do you practice any kind of occult practices?
Right.
And I was like, no. And he says, do you believe that there's a devil? I told him, yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of kept on talking. Then he says, do you practice in any kind of paranormal study or any kind of UFO study?
But he's like,
and I told him,
no.
No, I mean, I just kind of looked at him and I was like, yes. And he goes, you go hunting or do you do this? I said, well, when I was younger, I said, we used to go out to certain spots. We used to go out to certain things. And I said, for us, it was more of like an urban exploration, which turned into more of a, did you see that move over there? Or did you see this? Or did you see that? And then it became more of like, let's go see if we find ghosts. Yep. And I told him, and then I said, we'd end up out in the country, whether it was all of us together or alone or with a couple friends only, and we'd be looking in the sky for UFOs type stuff. And so he goes, so you've done this for a long time? I said, yeah, I mean, nothing professional. I said, I don't have no tools or nothing. And he goes, okay. He says, well, that's what I needed to know, because he says there is a possibility of you going out and practicing this or looking for this, that you're going to invite it in. You basically open a doorway and you invite these kind of things to you. So he says, what I feel in your home, and he told me, he's like, while we were sitting in your living room, I felt an immensely cold area. He's like, it wasn't like a violent cold, but like if something was blowing cold air right over my head and down my shoulders. And he asked me, like, do you see things? And I told him, yeah, I do. I said, and I explained to him about the cowboy and about Angel. And I told him, then there's something that peeks its head out right back here in this closet. So he came in and threw, holy water and salt everywhere and did his thing. And a lot of prayer, a lot of meditation that they did, and they kept us around for everything. And it was really, I mean, to me, it was really interesting watching the whole thing. And the fact that he asked me those questions, I sat down to ask him why he asked me those. And that's what he explained to me was, when you start practicing and searching for something, sometimes you may not find it, but it's going to find you.
Yeah, you're kind of opening the door.
Yeah. So that's where I started asking about the aliens and demons. And I asked him about Ergogor. And he laughed when I said, Ergogor, he laughed, and he had another word for it, like a Latin word for it. And he goes, you're talking about, he says, a manifested spirit, and I said, yeah. And he goes, that's the ghost, or what in demonology they would say is the demon that helps control the Ouija. He says, when you get a group of people together and they're forcefully, or they're all really, really hoping to see or trying to open or see something like that, they will manifest together some kind of energy or some kind of spirit that will affect them all equally. And then all of them will come to agreement and say, did you see that? I saw it. Did you see it? And everybody puts it together in their head. And he says, it won't necessarily mean that there's something there. It just happened to be that all of you witnessed something and collectively came together to say it was, in fact, a spirit. He says, now, there is spirits and there is demons that can control the Ouija and can do things like that. But collectively, as an Ergogor, he says it's more of a mental agreement of people bringing that together and creating, like manifesting their own ideas. So he says at that point, you're so open to the idea that the Ergogor is considered not an actual spirit. So I didn't ask him about the podcast if we could do it over the internet, but he did say, as far as studies go, it is considered a style of paranormal, like hunting or paranormal practices. But though it's not what most people believe, it can actually still open a portal that can bring in something else that will be paranormal. So that was pretty interesting.
Oh.
Then he kind of moved us over to aliens and demons, and that's where a lot of this started getting interesting. He talked about a little bit about this priest. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you're good.
He started talking a little bit more about this priest from 2022 that made this video that went viral. And then he brought up something that is kind of reinforced it, but again, the media is kind of kept it on the hush hush. Is JD Vance, our vice president, this year openly said that aliens are in fact demons. And apparently, because of church and state and media and stuff, they're kind of separating it, so we don't get that mentality as far as the public thinking we're being overrun by demons.
So I guess the overall question, the overarching question for myself at least, is this to try to sway the public to believe that aliens aren't real, or is it more of that it isn't true that aliens are in fact demons?
Well, in his words, he believes the reason that they're trying to separate church and state for demons and aliens is because, and he said, our country has a space force. And he says, we as a country, or our leaders in this country, can't afford for our public to realize there's no such thing as extraterrestrial or out of this world beings like aliens, because then why do we need a space force? And he says, and then when it comes to theology or to religion can't afford, or can't, he said like afford, they can't afford for people to believe that there's demons everywhere and not aliens. He says they have to be like a balance of it, because if everybody believes there's demons, then we're going to believe that we're being overrun by demons because people see anything in the sky and believe it.
Yeah, for sure.
So he says there's a lot of things like the theological defense of it is many proponents of this theory believe that embracing the existence of extraterrestrial life contradicts fundamental theological teachings. That's by labeling aliens as demons. They seek to preserve traditional religious worldviews. So once I read about that, I kind of went down the rabbit hole and ended up going to that. What's his name? The guy with the crazy hair from the alien videos.
From Ancient Aliens.
Yeah. Yeah. I started seeing some of his stuff and some of the stuff revolving around ancient aliens, and then I started comparing it towards the religious side, and it kind of makes sense, as we start talking about that or reading into that, because the Egyptians, the whole pyramids and the gods that they painted out, and the hieroglyphics that we see, they were never, at that time, they were never like actual humans. They had like Anubis, which was like the head of a jackal and the body of a human, or all the different gods that they put down in their hieroglyphs. They come back to say that in those times it was more of a what people would have seen more as a religious being that was not actually fully human. It was like part beast, part human. And these things came out of the sky. It was lights out of the sky that would come down to the earth, and they were helping. And they say this was where you start getting really into theology with this, is the Egyptians with the Israelites, the slaves that they had building the pyramids. Well, apparently the demons were controlling the Egyptians to enslave the Israelites. And, and there's just so much, man. This we can probably go hours and hours on this. So I'm
like theories and upon theories.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. It'll go on and on, but
one
it's
thing
crazy.
I wanted
It's so
to
wild.
something came up real quick. I don't know how this is happening, but let me just share my screen so you can see it. I'm getting a transmission.
I think we got a virus.
Apparently we got a transmission from Rylan. See what he has to say.
Nordic aliens are real. I'm alive. How dare anyone say I'm not a real being? Can't you see me? Buddy. Also, where is Oscar? I'm intrigued with his so-called inside farts.
Well,
Lord.
Rylan.
Do you guys Rylan's here on the show? Do you guys have anything you want to ask him? Thanks for joining us, Rylan. It's a pleasure to have you on here. Do you guys have anything to say to him? So I'm sure this is very, very expensive for Rylan, so we got to make it short and sweet.
Rylan, why this episode opposed to all others?
Waiting for his
Because
transmission
this
to come
is
through.
about my ass.
Ooh. Okay. I like him already.
Why did he go from an English accent to just an American one?
Because he
Because
can.
this is
He's
about
just
my ass.
Got all country on that one.
Complete change, I guess. Buddy, do you have any questions for Rylan? I don't know how much longer this transmission is going to last.
Rylan, are you a demon?
He's
doesn't
awfully
want
quiet
to
about
answer
that.
it.
No, I'm Nordic, you. I'll return with more info and some food.
Oh, okay.
Bring pizza.
What's pizza?
Some smorgog snails will be fine.
Some smorgasbord snails. Some Urgle burgles would be fine, Rylan.
Some Urgle burgles.
Some rocks.
We
Rock
appreciate you jumping on the pod, Rylan. Hopefully the next one, Oscar will be here, and you can have a quick conversation with him in regards to whatever it is that we're talking about. Let's see what he says. Oh, what?
I appreciate the time, you idiots.
Damn. Okay.
Wow, he's so aggressive. I like it.
This is a nice little break from the heavy demon talk. I mean, going back, okay. Not to act like we didn't get an interstellar transmission from Rylan, but going back to everything you were outlining, buddy, I mean, there's so many intricacies when it comes to the topic itself. And of course, it boils down to whatever it is your belief system is. Some people are closed-minded, some are open-minded, whether they want to discover more, or they're closed-minded and they're just like entrenched and they're sticking with their beliefs no matter what the information that comes out, even if it's slapping them in the face. These types of people just won't believe it. These are anecdotal stories whenever we get into alien conversations. And me personally, I've never seen an actual alien. I've seen numerous UFOs. We think we saw an alien once that was on top of a haystack in Calexico. I've never had eye-to-eye contact or anything like that with an alien to prove it to myself, at least, because like I said, they're anecdotal stories. But the one thing I will say it's very especially coming from myself, where the many things I've experienced, I wouldn't be completely. I wouldn't be surprised.
Shocked? Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if it was that demons were aliens or anything like that. But here is my argument when it comes to that. So if aliens are demons, why are aliens not attacking us more? Because the reason why I'm saying that, in my experiences when it came to specific demon, the demon instances that I've experienced, they're doing harm and they're attacking. Wouldn't you believe that if demons had their hands on, advanced technology, that they would do everything in their being to try and manipulate people? Or I'm unlocking things in my head.
What if it wasn't necessarily like, or I don't know, this is weird too. What if just how people on Earth can get possessed by demons? What if these extraterrestrial beings can get possessed by demons?
Yeah. I mean, why? Exactly. Why? That could definitely happen too. I'm like, we're opening a bunch of, doors in Pandora's box that leads to more questions, but that's what this podcast is for. And I think you're right, Jesse. If it's very possible that demons could possess aliens as well and continue their work through that way, opposed to just, at least if I were a demon and I was smart enough to go after a being that is light years ahead in terms of technology, I would go for the alien, and try to manipulate human beings or or anything of that matter in that avenue. I mean, there's so many questions with little answers, but the discussion itself is, I think, important. And buddy, at the end of everything that you discovered and you kind of researched, what was your overall final thoughts on a personal level?
On a personal level, I personally believe, that there is a possibility for aliens. I mean, we just
Right.
touched the theology side and what I was talking about, the religious side. There's still a whole, like I say, we could go another hour on this, on the science side of it.
Right.
And you brought up a good point there about, if the aliens were demons, why are they not attacking us? Something that I read that both the science and the religious side agreed on is that they are attacking us.
Right.
And that was something that kind of, like I say, it kind of made it controversial to me, because now we're talking science, we're talking religion, and they're contradicting and then contradicting, and then they're actually agreeing with each other.
Yeah, they came together on this one topic.
Yeah, because, back in the 60s, we were told that the aliens were on the dark side of the moon.
Right.
We found out that on the dark side of the moon, there's no aliens. Then we found out, then they said, okay, then they're from
Mars.
Saturn,
Yeah,
and then
Mars
Saturn.
is
Yeah, Saturn. And then Saturn, they found out that the planet was too hot and gases and everything for anything to survive. So now they're from Mars. We kept throwing them around different spots. As the years came through and we started learning more science-wise. So what they brought up even in science was, think about all the times that you see a UFO coming down to the earth and it crashes into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
If these beings are so advanced, how did they fly across light years to get here?
Crash.
And then, of all things, crash, and you find no pieces of their ship or of them, So it just brought so much up that I was just kind of like, this is kind of crazy. Like, if we really, really get into this, we can end up with a lot of controversy, both sides going back and forth. Personally, and y'all have known forever, I've always been somewhat of a religious person, but I personally believe there could be something out there. I mean, alien-wise, that doesn't really necessarily have to be demons. Although now with this whole idea that I read into, and I said I got too far into it, it kind of does make me feel also that, maybe it could be the other way. Maybe there could be aliens that are demons, or that aliens are demons,
Right.
For me personally, it just kind of makes me want to keep my guard up and keep my eye on the sky a little bit, watch out that nothing's coming after me.
I mean, yeah, that's for sure. But that's how I felt. And what about you, Jess? This is let's see. Let's see right now. Right
Shut
now.
up.
Let's see.
Okay, look. I mean, I'm not like super religious. I'm a spiritual person, right? I believe in a lot of different things.
Mhm.
But to me, it's always personally, I honestly feel like aliens have been around forever as well. I feel
Right.
like it's kind of like Men in Black, how some people are walking around that are aliens, or how people are walking around and you think they're human, but they're not. And I also I don't remember if I told you, or if I remember you guys, remember I told you guys I recently saw like a UFO type sighting, like last month here in freaking Chula Vista. And to me, especially after seeing, I don't know if you guys heard of the movie Disclosure Day. It's like a new movie that just came out.
Spielberg.
It's Steven Spielberg. It's a very similar, topic. So to me, I feel like I've done both, right? Like I do kind of like my spiritual, but I'm also someone of science.
Mhm.
And controversy or not, I do believe that there are beings that have been caught there. I feel like they are doing experiments on them as well as them doing experiments on us, or like, like I said,
Right.
can of worms, missing people, different theories of missing people, abductions. Like I believe all that is possible. So
Oh, yeah.
to me,
I do
whether they're
too.
demons or not, they probably are. I also believe in dimensions, right? So it couldn't necessarily be
Mhm.
something up in space. It's just something in another dimension that we as humans or whatever we're able to process, and our brains see it as up in sky.
Right.
But it could be another dimension. So at this point, I'm with you guys that if something Rylan freaking came on TV and told me some freaking alien shits were gonna invade, I'd be like, after like freaking COVID, I'd be like, now what? Like, what do we have to do now? Type of thing. It wouldn't surprise me.
What do we have to experience?
Yeah, like
I
now what?
I feel like our age range, or I should say our generation, has experienced a lot compared to the majority of others. And like an alien invasion or anything of sorts I don't know if I feel like we'd be numb to something like that happening. And it does line up with what you said, Jesse, where it's our feeling of, oh great, now what? Like now what do we have to deal with?
Yes.
I don't think there'd be mass hysteria, obviously, if something like that were to happen, but
You're right.
the actual happening of it, I don't think we would have much of a reaction, at least from our generation, because we've experienced so much in the minute time that we've been alive. And I agree with you in terms of the whole interdimension aspect of it, and why this I never understood. And Buddy touched on it a little bit, where our government says that supposedly they're from a specific planet in our solar system. Why do they have to be in our solar system? They could have came from another solar system.
They could have came from
Far
another
away.
dimension. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like, haven't you guys seen? I'm not sure if you see on TikTok that psychic in Peru or something that went viral because she was saying that on June 26th or something, it's gonna be like a disclosure day, and that
haven't seen that.
There's going to be a big event, or maybe it's the 24th. I don't know. In I don't know, one of the places where the soccer
Get your
game
end
is
of
taking place.
days date correct, Jesse. I want to know when I'm gonna die. Okay, is it the 24th or the 26th?
I don't know. She went viral because she predicted like something similar, but she's saying that like 700 people are gonna be taken. Here, let me look for it.
Jeez.
It's on TikTok.
Like 700 people from a
the
specific
stadium.
country.
Yes.
Oh, from the stadium.
Okay.
So this is specifically when there's a FIFA game going on, right? FIFA match.
Yes. So at the World Cup on June 4th, so tomorrow, this is what she's saying, that a
June
major
4th?
June 24th, a major event will happen in Miami, and 700 will be taken, including fans and players. And it's supposed to be a disclosure day where people are finally going to see the proof that aliens or UFOs do exist.
Or aliens' true intentions. I'm curious to see if this really happens tomorrow.
This is, if you want to look her up, this is her.
Okay. And you said she went viral?
Yes, because she had other predictions.
And those predictions actually happened?
That's what they say.
Interesting. I mean, they're being taken for what? To live in another civilization, another planet?
That's it. Psychic in Brazil claims mothership will show up in Miami this month, and about 700 people from a sporting event will be taken, including players and whatever. So it's all over TikTok. Like, you'll go down a rabbit hole. Everybody's gonna talk about it. Other psychics are talking about it. On Miami.
Are they disputing what she's saying, or
some are disputing what
her?
she's saying? Of course, some psychics are not agreeing, and then now some people are saying that she supposedly canceled her prediction. But I don't know. I think she just did it because that movie came out. Disclosure Day.
How do you cancel it? I retract what I said.
Yeah, they have to retract what they said.
How do you? So if she retracted it, how do you clean that up? How do you say?
She would have to probably say like it was maybe another time. Like she thought it was the 24th, but it could have been in the year of, God knows what.
It was the 24th of the year 2060. I'm sorry.
Like something like that, similar, exactly.
That kind of falls in line though, like with the Mayan calendar? They thought the world was going to end December 12th, 2021.
And
nothing. It was just like, oh no, maybe it was 3021.
Or was it 2012? Was it 2012?
2012, yeah.
2012.
Yeah.
And just
I remember all that. People were
just like
freaking
Y2K.
out. You know what's funny? The Y2K thing. Like, okay, I don't know where your parents were when it came to the stereo with that, but my dad full on bought cases of water and supplies, thinking that the power grid was going to go out and the internet was going to go out or something, and we're just going to lose all communication everywhere. And
I remember you guys drinking so many water bottles after that happened. Yep. There was water bottles everywhere at that house.
And I think we lived on Feldspar, close to you, buddy. When all that went down. What about your parents for Y2K?
Actually, we were still on Calle de Oro.
Okay.
Yeah, right across the street from each other, basically.
My parents didn't do anything. My dad had to go to work, and my mom was like,
¿Qué vamos a hacer? No sé, voy a ir a manejar mi truck.
Yeah. My mom was like, I don't give a get in the shower and go to bed. You have to go to school tomorrow. And I just remember Amy was like paranoid. Amy was like, oh my God, what if the internet? My mom's like, go to sleep, Amalia.
My house.
That's on brand for Amy.
My house, my mom went around and disconnected all the electrical appliances that night. Like TVs,
really?
The VCRs, the computer we had. She disconnected the phones. She was going to wait till midnight, New Year's, because her understanding was that anything connected to the grid was basically going to just get destroyed. And
Interesting.
because she had the whole internet computer thing that the computers were all going to shut down on Y2K. So she disconnected everything. I mean, the only thing that was left connected was like lamps in the rooms and stuff. And then midnight came. We were all looking at the microwave because it had a clock on it.
Because it had a clock on it.
It went midnight, and then we're like
this.
And then it was like nothing happened. And then I think we tested it by putting a hot pocket in there to see if it would cook. And then we connected the TVs and everything else. It was just like, okay, well, that was it.
Like,
nothing happened.
And then you ate.
And we ate a hot pocket.
What about the one we just discussed, the Mayan calendar that supposedly was going to end?
Hey, that one menos.
But you know what's funny is that I didn't believe in all that stuff. I think around that same time there was this dude that had a cult and said that everybody was going to float into the sky or something like that.
What the heck?
You don't remember that? That was
not
everywhere.
Really.
And it didn't happen, and they were clowning him. They started to release people-shaped balloons into the sky to make fun of him. It was up. But 2012, I didn't think anything was going to happen. But what did scare the shit out of me is that where I lived in Redondo Beach, California, there was an air show going on that day. And right around 1:00, a jet just flew right over my house. And I was like, oh, it's really happening.
Like that movie, This Is the End.
Yeah, dude, that's exactly what it felt like. So, I don't know. It's these prophecies that people put out. They're, especially when it comes to like a TikTok medium or TikTok psychic. But there's like no information other than 700 people, specifically 700 will be.
I mean, she has a page, I'm sure, where she gives like her prediction, but I just wasn't invested enough to like go and look for hers. And
she has a page where she goes, I'm getting a J. I'm getting a J. Is it Jason? Yes, it's Jason. It's Jason. It is Jason. He's like a family member or friend of yours or your neighbor. Yeah, he's my friend. I knew it. I knew he was your friend. Like, I hate those I hate those ones. You remember that they got very popular in the 2010s where they had shows and they were on big platforms and doing all these stupid. I hated it. Absolutely hated it.
I mean, I feel like any of these alien or creepy shows or movies or whatever have to come from some source,
right? There has to be a source.
Mm-hmm.
But so I don't want to stir up more. And this has a lot to do with aliens. I know last episode was a little shaken up about this, but I don't know. The conspiratorial side of me has to bring this up and share this on the show. So I didn't know this, but 2 weeks before Oliver Tree died in that helicopter accident, he filmed an unreleased documentary, and they think he found an alien base. Let me share this with you guys. And you guys let me know what you think after I share it with you. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay.
You get a chance to go out there? Are you fucking shitting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can count 5 different entry points to this alien base. This is the reason why I've stayed in Antarctica so long. Look at this fucking thing. I'm giving an interview about alien bases, and one shows up right behind me. This is a daily thing here. This is something that has kept me in Antarctica because I want to know more. And without the proper military support, I can't go deeper into this because this is NATO territory. It's been closed off. But a guy can wonder and a guy can watch from a distance and document. We've got multiple cameras here so that we can try to get this footage and upload this to the internet where everyone can witness this for free. We don't have to hide this anymore. I'm so sick of the government hiding what's really going on here in Antarctica. So this is what's going on. Alien bases that go underwater, where you have orbs, you have UFOs, you have UAPs, you have so many different types of vehicles, but this is what keeps me. As much as I love it.
You know what's kind of scary about Antarctica?
Thoughts?
Yeah, like I was just going to say, what's kind of scary about Antarctica, he nailed it right on the head too. You cannot step foot on Antarctica without proper government permission. And that's
scary?
anybody. And then when they do let you get off on there, it's like on certain points and you can only go so far. Don't go any further than that. That's it. Yeah, that's kind of trippy.
And then 2 weeks later, he dies in a helicopter crash.
Like, I've always seen theories of aliens also where they say, like, I don't remember exactly what it is, but they say that it's that people think that the sky is up, but it's really the water. So
I've seen that. I've seen that
right.
theory.
So like they're really so a lot of like the alien stuff that has happened or like activity has been
They're
like in
underwater.
the water. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's why they tie it to kind of like where nobody's ever been able to go also that deep into the sea, right? Because there's like
Yeah, they always say that. There's so many places we haven't discovered in the sea.
mhm.
Sure, buddy. I mean, what do you think about that though, Jess? About Oliver Tree and his discovery?
I mean,
I
I
mean-
think that there's a lot of people that that's happened to. Look at with the episode he did on the scientists also that just randomly disappeared, right? Went missing. I definitely believe that that there's a team dedicated to that.
We're gonna get an email in the morning. Your podcast is hereby dismantled. Your LLC is now over, and no more episodes any further. But
And we're taking away Buddy's wheels.
So it's just, I don't know. I don't think we're ever going to know what really is going on if you're not privy to that information. If you're not in the government or part of these projects or these, missions or whatever, we're never going to know. Unless, you know what? I retract what I said earlier. I said that I think we were talking about this on Normal Dudes, if what we would do if we died. Buddy said he would re-haunt his home. Me, I would figure out how to annoy the shit out of people. I think a good portion of my existence in the ether would be annoying the shit out of people because that's fun. But the other side of it, the part 2 of my existence would be to go see all of these things, see if what's really inside of Area 51 or these crazy bases out in Antarctica. We're sitting in a war room of all these politicians and see what's real and how they're manufacturing things. And I would love to be a ghost on the wall.
A ghost, yeah.
Instead of a fly on the wall, be a ghost on the wall.
You have to watch Disclosure Day then.
I will, but I think I saw somewhere that they've already refuted a lot of things in that movie to be false, not factual.
Of course it is,
or whatever.
but the concept
It's a movie. It's a movie. Yeah. So
when you see it, it's like, I mean, obviously some things are fake. It's for entertainment purposes, but
yeah, of course.
Some of the concepts are also like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm sure there is, but regardless of whatever detraction that was put out there for the movie, I still want to watch it, and I'm gonna watch it. There's a slew of movies I want to watch, and we already said, dudes out there, if you're new here or if you're returning, we talked about this on last episode, and I think we could. We're wrapping up the show, but we could talk about this at the end of the month. We want to have a movie night on Patreon whether it's live or we just record it and then post it on Patreon, but we want to have one. And did we decide on a movie yet that we were going to watch?
Debbie Does Dallas.
I think, I don't know if it was Backrooms or the
Didn't you said you had
podcast
one on Apple
one.
TV already?
I have a lot on Apple TV.
There was a specific one that you brought up last episode that you wanted us to watch. I would love to watch
Was it
Obsession. It's
Undertone, the one about the paranormal
Undertone.
podcast?
That's
Okay.
Yes, that's the one you talked about.
When?
Yeah, we'll watch Undertone. And then whenever it is we get Oscar back on the show, he said that he had a crazy dream to share with us. And so it's going to be interesting to hear what he has to say when he gets back. But, buddy, I want to thank you for, doing your research and sharing a lot of this with us, because I was very intrigued in a lot of it and I wanted to learn more. Off of the video I saw that was shared by our friend, being able to connect it and kind of try to understand where the church was coming from in terms of aliens actually being demons. And that's open for interpretation for our audience. If you guys want to talk about it in the chat, I mean, in the chat, like if I'm live, and I haven't gone live in a while, you can leave a comment in the comments, please, and we would love to hear your perspective on it, because it's an interesting one. Even if you have an opposing idea from us, that's okay. We want to hear about it anyway. Or if you want to leave a comment making fun of our physical appearance, that's fine as well. We welcome those. Because we've gotten those in the past. Or physical abilities as well. All comments are welcome. We're not scared of comments, I guess you could say. But that's what I have for you guys.
Tell me that Sergio hasn't already told me.
I know. I mean, we've known each other for a very long time, and
my God,
it just get the content of what I say to Buddy just gets worse as time goes on. So by the time we're in our 80s, he's going to be numb to it. He's just going to not. I feel like Buddy's just going to not respond to the nonsense I say when we're older.
You told me that when
same
we
concept
were
for you, Jesse. Oh my gosh. But that's what I have for you dudes out there. Please check out our other episodes. If you are on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Check out our other episodes if you miss any. Hit that notification bell so that you can get future episodes in the when we release them. And if you're not on YouTube and you're listening everywhere else or watching, we appreciate it. We appreciate you watching. We do see all our analytics, and the support we get from you guys is very important to us. If you do want any Paranormal Dudes merch, we have some merch available on our website at paranormaldudes.com. And if you want exclusive stuff and uncensored versions of this episode with all of my nasty commentary and all of our cussing and things that have to be cut out of the episode, they're not cut out on Patreon. And go ahead and become a subscriber over there. And speaking of that, I'm going to put a list of the people that are subscribers on Patreon here. Okay. And we want to thank those subscribers on Patreon. Yes. Jesse and Buddy, do you guys have anything for our dudes before we bid them farewell until next Thursday?
Thank you for supporting and listening, and always believe what you see.
I like that. Do you guys think we'd get copyright strike if we were to add Unsolved Mysteries jingle? Just like a snippet of it, not a long one.
I think so. There's only one way to find out.
Yeah, we should just try it. I'll download it and we'll use it on the next episode.
Okay.
Because it's
I like it. It's like
it's funny at the same time. Yeah, it's like it's trying to be. The reason why it's funny is because during that time, whoever was making this song, they thought to themselves, "Yeah, this sounds scary and like mysterious," but in reality, it sounds goofy as.
I mean, it was kind of freaky if like 2 a.m. as a 10-year-old.
Yeah. As a 10-year-old, yeah, but as an adult, you're like, this sounds goofy.
Mix the Paranormal Dudes boom with doom 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 doom. It's not trademark.
Cool. That'd be cool, dude. You know what? I'm gonna do something with that.
Yeah, you'd need to just for this episode.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Buddy, you got anything for our dudes out there?
Well, just because in Paranormal Dudes we were talking about the shows we saw when we would stay home when we were sick. This is Buddy Mottinger signing out. Remember to spay and neuter your cats and dogs.
I thought he was gonna say committed to the approval of the Midnight Society. I call.
Oh my God, I was thinking of that one too.
Oh my gosh. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. That's all we have for you for now. Until the next one, we will catch you later, dudes. Do 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 do.